Hey there, my name is Dan Scott, and this is one video from my larger Adobe XD course, which you can check out on bringyourownlaptop.com. You can also go there to download the free exercise files and the free cheat sheet if you like. All right, enjoy the video. Hi there, in this tutorial we're going to look at ways of faking interactions by doing things like this with our little drop down menus. Okay, we can close it back up, all nicely faked in XD. Plus in our apps we can have navigation, push in, push back out, and we can have nice little search boxes, click back out. And lastly we can add things to cart and they appear in the little cart here. Let's go look now how to make these using Adobe XD Prototype. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is like a drop down menu. We're going to use this little account button here, right? And when you click on it, it's going to drop down with different options to log in. So what we're going to do, zoom out. I want to grab these three and I'm just going to drag them so there's a bit of space. I'm going to grab this one, holding Alt while I drag it. So I've got this option here. So they look exactly the same. And the only thing that's going to change is the drop down menu. And then it's about the transition using the prototype options. So first up, let's build a little drop down menu on the second option. So I'm going to grab the rectangle tool and I'm going to draw like a little drop down thing that opens up. Okay, I'm going to work at 100% so that I'm not designing at a strange size. Then I'm going to grab the pen tool and just draw like a little kind of pop out quote thing. So I'm going to select this guy. I want it to be everything that's there except I want it to have a drop shadow. Okay, so and then I want to select both of these. Okay, so I'm going to click on this guy, the edge, and then this guy. And what I'll do is actually this guy here, I want to have a fill. Okay, so I'm going to select both of them. And then over here in my little Boolean operators, okay, my Pathfinder, I'm going to use this first option just to join them up. Okay, so that's going to be my little drop down menu. So nothing too exciting. We'll go and build this out in a second. I just want to give you the structure first. So I'm going to zoom out. We're going to switch to prototype. And what I would like to do is click on this because it is a symbol. I need to double click on it. Okay, to get inside that symbol, you know you're inside because you're inside that green box. I'm going to say I want to go to this page here. Okay, so when that is clicked, I'd like to jump to this page. And it's all about the transition. Okay, so if I click on it and Dissolve's going to work nice. I'm going to use ease in and out. To be honest, it could be either any of these ones really. It's hard to tell the difference. Okay, and yeah, let's give that a preview. So hit play. Okay, and when this clicks, magic, we've got a drop down. Okay, now it doesn't go back. So what I'd like to do is close down the preview and say when that's clicked again, it's really common to click that and say go back to previous artboard. Cool. Hit play. When that's clicked, it drops down. And when you click it again, it pops back up. Okay, it's up to you how you want this thing to transition, whether you want to just change this, okay, just to be a jump cut. I might just do that. So it's got no dissolve, no nothing, just a none. Okay, and that'll just look like this. So click once and it just appears. Cool. I've still got the dissolve on the come back. Yeah, nice. And when I said I've still got the dissolve on the going back to the beginning, because I use go back to the previous artboard, not go back to the home page. If you use previous, it doesn't give you the option of choosing the transition. It'll just use whatever it used to get to that page. Okay, it'll just use that to getting back. In our case, it was none, so just jumped. Cool, so I'm just gonna add a little stuff in here. I'll get Jason to speed this up because you don't need to see me making this little box. And we'll get on to the next advanced prototyping. Okay, and we're back, and I'm just going to move my button there, I'm going to preview it, and then go here, close it back up. Okay, so people will be able to log in this option. So this is a drop-down menu from just an icon. Obviously, it could be a drop-down menu just as easily from, say, something like this. This is a button, and it has more than one category. You could easily make a button here, or a drop-down navigation. Okay, so no fill. No border, give it a fill, give it some text, and this could just as easily be course option 1. Okay, and make it a fill of white, awesome, and just use your repeat grid to go through and have like a drop down menu now. Repeat grid, drag it down. Okay, I want say these many options. I can count 5. Okay, I want them to overlap, and when that's clicked, you just jump to this page here. So it's going to kind of do the exact same thing. When this button is clicked, go to prototype, and this one's going to go to this page here. Cool, so it doesn't really matter if it's a drop down that looks like this or a drop down like a proper drop down menu, okay, for navigation. Let's preview it. This one, awesome. Or click on this button, you can see a drop down menu. And then you could have, when that's clicked, go to another option. Cool, so I'm gonna bin that. Thank you very much. What I'd like to do now is look at the next option where we potentially fill like a shopping cart up with different things. Okay, so let's go back to our homepage and make a little button. Now, the site that I'm making is not really, it's a subscription site, so it's not really a shopping cart site. So I'm just gonna add some stuff in here just to give you an example. So what we'll do is I've got an image to bring in and it's called bike. Let's shrink it down, holding shift on the corner. Okay, and let's say that the user has decided that yes, they wanna buy this bike. There's a button here that says add to cart. Here you go. Go, so add to cart. Nice, you drag it out. Holding Alt, dragging one side, drags both of them at the same time. Cool, so when they click on this, I would like there to be a shopping cart icon that kind of like fills. So what we need to do is, first of all, we need a shopping cart icon. Okay, so I've got one already. I've downloaded it from the market. I just typed in, remember, assets, market, I just found one. Okay, downloaded it to my CC library. Then with an Illustrator, I opened that up, copied it, back to XD, paste it. Okay, and I want it to match my little icon. So I'm gonna double click you. I want you to be you, all to be that green color. Shrink them down. And I'm going to add them to my symbols menu. Okay, so I'm going to cut them, double click it to go inside the symbol, paste it, move it up into an appropriate spot, and nicely add it out. Cool, now hopefully it should be added to all of the menus because it was a symbol. All right, if you haven't done symbols, go and check that earlier video out. So we've got that now, and what I'd like to do is duplicate this page. So we've done our drop-down menu page. I want to have a bit more space. I'm going to select you guys. You get way over here while we're doing our menus, and I'll grab this home page. Be able to see the text. There you are. Okay, hold down Alt, drag them across, and there you go. Cool. So this one's home page. This is actually home page. Login. Wow, spelling and typing not going well. This is going to be home page cart, which you don't really need for this one, but I want to show you how it works. Okay, so we're going to go into here, and when that button is clicked, we're going to have a little drop down. So we're going to steal bits from this last thing. Okay, so I want you. Yeah, we'll steal all sorts of bits. Copy. Over here, paste. And what I'll do is, all these helpful menus appearing. So there is my little cart. I want that to drop down. I want to use the bike. Where are you, bike? Not this one. You, copy. Well, sliding around, paste. There's a little version of it in here so you know it's in your cart. Double click it because they're not joined. You can double click them and do some editing, which is really cool. And this one's going to be, how many, I've just got one of these inserted into my cart. So type tool, click once, and I'm going to make sure the fill is black so you can see it. Font size is going to be 18, so it's easy to see, and not bold for no good reason. Okay, so there's going to be one of these being added. I don't actually need this. I just want a little bit of text that says view cart, so people can click on that, and we'll use this option. Cool. All right, off you. So we've built our graphic, right? And what I'd like to do now is actually one last little thing, like a little thing here that says you've got one. So fill wise, we'll do this. No border. Okay, and we'll put one thing in our, just one. Size wise, probably going to be Should totally speed this up. Sorry. All right, so it's just linking it up now. So it's very similar to this drop down, except we're just using a different button. Sometimes it's just nice to see. I find sometimes I'm like, how did that happen? And I just need to kind of see it from somebody else. So here's my helpful thing where you click on add to cart. I'm gonna click on both of these, go to prototype, and I wanna say when this thing is clicked. Okay, if you've got more than one selected, it won't work. You've got to group them. Okay, so Command G or Control G on a PC. Okay, and I'm going to say when that's clicked, I don't want any transition. I just want to jump to my cart. Okay, yeah, so let's go and preview it. So hopefully it works. And there's going to be a little problem with my demo here, is that when I click on this, it works, but it appears at the top of the page. So I guess it's a clunky way potentially. So what I'm going to do is you can move things in prototype mode. It doesn't matter. Let's just say that it's up here and it's one of the purchase options here so we can see it, then test it, and then we can go add to cart and it's a bit nicer. What we also probably have to do is back here, I want you, you, and you to be on both artboards. Copy them. And over here, paste. That will probably make a better demo. So add to cart, awesome, he just kind of appears there. Or you could use maybe a fade this time. I feel like fade would be appropriate now. Prototype, yep, and a dissolve. I'll just use ease out. Preview, add to cart, bit nicer. Okay, then that's happening way too fast. I promise I'm going to move on to the next one now. So duration, let's go up to a whole second. Craziness. Play. Boom. Nicer. Okay, let's look at doing some mockups for apps. Let's go back into here and like, I don't want this stuff. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do a save as, and there's completed files for every video, right? You can download them, part of the exercise files. And what you can do is I'll put a special one in here that has cart in it. Okay. Just so that you've got a version that has it, because now I'm going to go through and delete it. So wait there while I delete it. Okay, boom, I've removed my shopping cart. So what I would like to do now is I want to work with the apps and do some cool sliding across, because the first one I want to do is I originally decided that when I clicked on this, it was just going to kind of slide over to this page. Now that's fine, but really not typical of lots of new app styles. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a different version. So I'll duplicate him. Okay, he is going to be my old version in case I want to go back. Okay, and this is going to be the actual settings that I want. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to bin all of this. Okay, and you. And what I want to do is build a little side card. And what I'll do is it's nothing fancy. So I'll get Jason to speed this up so that we'll meet at the other end. All right, ready, set, build. Okay, we're back. If you watched that and fast forward, notice it was a bit painful. I made some design changes. I'm still not happy with it. But okay, so what we're going to do is, so we built this navigation that's going to slide from the, it's going to slide out from this side, okay, from left to right. And what we want to do to make this believable is we grab this instructor HQ bit, copy it. Okay, we'll bring it over here, and what we want to do is slide it so it's kind of off the edge here. It's still in this app settings. You'll know if it is, like if you end up going too far, it ends up kind of being, watch this. If I go out here, it's not part of this artboard. Okay, so if I click off, you'll see it gets hidden, and that's kind of what we want. And the real magic happens here now is that when I have this button clicked, okay, so let's go to prototype. I want you, and when that button is clicked, I would like it to push. First of all, I want it to go to, I'll just drag it. I want it to go to here. But I want it to push to the right, okay? And that should work. And when that button is clicked, I would like it to go back to the previous artboard. I could use previous artboard, but it would still use push right. And what I want to do is get it to push left, Okay, if you use previous artboard, remember, it just wants to do the exact same thing over. Let's give it a little preview. The other thing is when we're previewing, it's going to go back to the home page. Okay, and it's going to take a while to get to this particular page. So what we're going to do is when we're in prototype, you can click on the name, click on the home icon. So when you preview, it'll load this particular page. One thing I need to do when I'm prototyping this page, because it is so long, okay, is that in design, okay, with it selected, I need to make sure it's got vertical scrolling, but the size is just the regular app size. At the moment, it's showing me the whole, like where it says viewport, that means how big is the screen initially. Okay, so at the moment it should be 667. Perfect. So I can go into here and say you need to be 667. Okay, and you see the dotted line, so that's going to be the initial view. It's still scrollable. Your page should still be that height. Okay, but now if I go to preview, it's going to preview the right size even. Okay, so it's the right viewport. I can scroll up and down, and when I click on this is the magic. Okay, and click on that to go back. So it's got a nice feeling of this push pull. Okay, and also what we might do is we might not need this arrow. I'll need to have a little look at other apps. Okay, that this option maybe just closes it up as well because I feel like I want to click on him. All right, not totally happy with the design, but the mechanics of this thing works nicely and looks good for testing on apps. All right, let's jump into the last of the awesome options for prototyping. Let's close this down. Okay, so this option is kind of like using search either for desktop or for mobile. We're going to use mobile, and what we'll do is we'll open one of the UI kits that I've given you. So in exercise files, go to UI templates, open up. We use Google Material. You could use the Apple iOS because we're using the app version of this. Open up the sticker sheet, and in here there is some search options somewhere. There's one there. Okay, so I want this thing. Okay, so I'm going to ungroup that and hopefully get all these pieces is what I want. Come here, copy, and I'm going to bring them into here, and I'm going to move a space, put it in. Okay, readjust it just a little bit so there's room and it fits in with my design. What I might do is have to add a little bit of a border around the outside. Okay, that'll do. All right, so we've got some sort of search box now. And what we're going to do is when it's clicked, we're going to kind of like get it to look like it's working. So it's a bit of a fakeroony. So I'm going to select both of these and I'm going to drag them over. Okay, I'm going to grab this one, duplicate them by holding Alt and dragging. Okay, this one here, dashboard. This one is our search. Okay, so when they click on this, what I'd like to happen is that first up is I'd like the background to gray out. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, drag it out, cover everything. I'm going to give it a fill of black. I'm going to give it no border, and I'm going to use this blur background. Okay, and by default, what is it doing? It's probably blurring too much. There you go, so a bit too blurry, and maybe the opacity's up just a little bit. I think it remembered the last thing I was playing around with, so I'm going to lower that down until you get it to like it's still legible, just mixed out in the background. Okay, so you can play with either this or the opacity to get the darkness up, depending on how washed out you want it to be. And this is the blurriness. Okay, it'll blur everything underneath it. So what we need to do is we need to move backwards so that it's so our search bar can be seen. So what I'm going to do is with my black arrow, okay, click off black arrow, is click on this gray box and use Command open square brackets to move backwards. If you're on a PC, it's Control square brackets. Your square brackets are next to your P key. So I'm just going to keep going down until that all comes forward. Okay, I'm going to zoom in at 100%. And that looks about right. What I also want to do is give that fake kind of look where it's been highlighted. Okay, so in here, I'm going to select the text. Here you go, crank up the opacity so it's fully black. And I want to make like a little blue box. You know, that kind of like selected box thing. Move that backwards, give it a bluish color. You know the one I mean? Like, you got to get the right color, right? Otherwise this doesn't work. Yeah, it's like a really ugly blue. Kind of washed out baby blue. All right, I'm going to try and grab it again and get rid of the border. That kind of thing where it feels like it's selected. Does anybody feel like that's selected? You might have to go off and actually do a screenshot of actually selecting something, get the right color. So yes, I want that to happen. So what I need to do is link these two. So when somebody clicks that button there in a prototype, and it goes to this screen here. What would I like it to do? I'd like it to not push left. I want it to dissolve. Okay, and that will be perfect, hopefully. And then if you click anywhere else in this document, it goes back to here. Okay, so not a full search box, but giving you the illusion of an interactive search box. Let's hit play. Okay, we click on the search box, and it looks like we've got highlighted text. Do you like it? Yeah, it's another trick. Now, XD is a pretty new product, so these kinds of tricks are just stuff that I've seen other people do or I've figured out myself. So if you've got some, I'd love to find out, okay? Either take a screenshot, send me the XD file. I'd like to see of ways if you've faked things that I haven't shown here, because I would love to build up a repository of ways of faking in XD. Hopefully in newer versions of XD, there will be kind of less hacks and more actual kind of defined things rather than trying to fake it to make it work. All right, my lovely friends, that is going to be it for this video. What I'm going to do now off screen is just go through and add all the basic kind of click the buttons, move to the next artboard. So there's a lot of just dragging along, testing, dragging along, testing. What's useful and what I use is I've got a second monitor plugged into my laptop, so I can have the prototype open all the time, and you don't have to kind of reactivate it for the changes to happen. So you can just have it on one screen, interacting with it, making sure it works, and on the other screen having XD open and just making the adjustments. Okay, so there's a bit of a trial and error, clicking on things. Do I need extra pages? Is this going to be enough for a user test? So I'm going to leave that to off screen. Cool, I will see you in the next video. This was a super long one. This could have been the longest video I've ever made. Yeah, a good old long one. Some good stuff in there though. Hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye bye now.